Welcome to The Soul's Journey with your host, Tracey Escobar. The Soul's Journey tells the story of everyday people who overcome life's toughest lessons and want to use their voice to share and give hope to others walking a similar path. These are stories of hope, stories of healing, stories of empowerment. So now, please welcome the host of The Soul's Journey, Tracey Escobar.
Hey, welcome back to The Soul's Journey on Bold Brave TV. I am your host, Tracey Escobar. I'm a psychic medium, and these are my special guests today. Tell them what your name is.
My name's Allison.
And what's your name?
My name is Carolina.
And who are you guys to me? Who am I to you?
Our grandma.
Grandma. So these are my grandbabies, and today they're going to make their appearance on the podcast to talk about what we did today. And what did we do today, you all?
We watched the movie
Barbie movie, and they wanted to give their review of the Barbie movie. See, we kind of have our little outfits on. See, she changed. She's changed.
The hair dye.
Yeah. She dyed her hair pink. We've got pink extensions today. So it was a really fun time. And so they wanted to tell you, number one, Allie, I'm going to interview you. Are you ready? Okay, Allie, what was the funniest part of the movie?
The Kens were at the beach and they're dancing. That was really funny.
That was the funniest part for you? Do you have a funniest part?
Yeah.
Okay, what was your funniest part?
The funniest part was whenever Barbie was driving to the real world, and then while she was singing, Ken popped out and they both screamed, and then the car flipped.
And then the car flipped.
And they still stayed in the car.
What was kind of cool about the movie? I thought the movie was kind of cool because they really looked like Barbies, didn't they?
Yeah.
Did they act like Barbies and look like Barbies?
Yeah.
And did it really look like Barbie Town?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
The Barbie world, right? And they all lived in their own what?
Dream house.
Dream houses. And there was tons of Kens, right?
And Barbies.
And the cool thing about Barbie, the Barbie was different, what, nationalities, different colors, different sizes, and their all name was what?
Barbie
and Ken.
And Barbie and Ken.
Hey, Karen. Hey, Barbie.
So did you guys like the movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think it was for kids? Because it's kind of PG-13. So what did you think?
Most of it, but not all of it.
Yeah.
There was only like 2 parts that was PG-13,
Okay.
but the rest was all family friendly.
It was all
Yeah.
family friendly?
In the
Yes.
middle.
In the middle? What did you guys do if there was a part that wasn't family friendly?
I would close my eyes and I'm gonna tell Andrea that why did we come to this movie if it's not for kids.
Yeah. And you?
Mostly I would just keep watching it, but I would forget about the part
Okay.
since it was not family friendly.
Yeah. And when they say not family friendly, there was probably a couple of instances, maybe adult humor,
The words. It was only
the words,
they said.
right?
Yeah.
But other than that, full of kids. The whole theater was full of kids, wasn't it? All dressed up in their Barbie stuff, right? And moms and dads and
Almost all of them were blonde.
all of them were
There's
blonde.
so much blonde people.
But do you think the movie made you feel included because there were some that weren't blonde?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what nationality are you? Do you know what that means?
Yes.
Okay, what's your mommy?
Okay, she's Cuban.
Okay, and what's your daddy?
My dad is Guatemalteco,
He's from Guatemala. Yes.
and mostly me, I'm just Spanish.
And you're Spanish, that's what you do?
But
And
at the same time, I'm from America.
right, because you were born here, right? But your parents were born in other places, right? Your mom was born in Cuba and your dad was born in Guatemala. And how about you, Ali? What are your parents from? Do you know?
No, but my dad was born in California, and Andrea was born in Missouri.
Yeah. And your dad's half Mexican, right? So it's his dad and his dad's parents came from Mexico. You just happened to get the blonde hair, right?
From my mom.
From your mom. Yeah. So anyway, they wanted to come on. They wanted to talk about the Barbie movie. We went today as a family, and I think they had a really good time. And again, there were some parts that maybe were adult. Yeah, maybe some adult humor and things that they picked up on. But other than that, it was really good. I think it had a good message for girls, didn't it? Yeah. Do you guys remember kind of what the message was for
Yeah.
girls?
Yeah.
What is
You
it?
can do anything you want, even from your gender.
Yeah.
Mostly girls.
Yeah. So you don't have to be restricted because you're a girl. You could be what? A doctor, a lawyer,
Uh-huh.
president, right? There was a
A
president.
construction worker.
A construction worker.
And a builder.
A
or
builder. What else?
A gamer.
There was a gamer on there. Yeah.
No, but girls can be a gamer.
Girls can be a gamer. Yeah. Wasn't there a video Barbie?
Yes.
Yes.
That had
Yes.
the little camera in the back.
Yeah, it was banned.
What? It was banned for reals?
Yeah, in the real life.
Because it was spying on kids with the camera.
I don't believe that
Ah.
type, but I think it's probably just because the moms didn't think it was really safe because they had just the camera. So I don't know.
Yeah.
They thought the camera was bad, but I don't believe in any of that horror stuff for that.
Good for you. I thought the cool part, I'm a Gen Xer, and so of course we went down memory lane with me.
Which was funny because in the movie theater, there was this boy, and he was wearing a blonde curly wig with sunglasses, pink sunglasses.
Was that the worker at the theater? Yeah. So he made it really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they gave us the bracelet.
And they gave you bracelets?
Bracelets.
Oh.
Where's mine?
I don't know. Oh, you put it over there.
Oh, so they got bracelets. So they had a good time. And I think the movie had a really good message for women and for girls. It's okay. Huh? Yeah. It's okay. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I wanna be.
Today.
I wanna be like a teacher or like or a YouTuber.
A YouTuber. This is her debut. What do you want to be?
Fashion designer because I really like to draw, and it's a mix of something that I also like to do
Yeah.
with something else, and also architecture because they're the same thing, drawing.
Yeah, it's like interior design, architecture.
Yeah, plus you
plus
can make your own
fashion.
house.
Yeah.
You can make your own clothing,
Yes.
so that way you don't have to like do a lot of stuff.
And you
for
think
it.
you can do it even if you're a girl? Yeah. Yeah. But is it okay for girls to be mommies too and be at home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if that's something that they want to do, that's okay too. Yeah. Well, thank you, girls, for.
Oh yeah, there was a mom. She was pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah. She was the one that was like,
What was her name? Midge?
yeah, something
Yeah.
like
That was pretty cool about the movie because Gen X are here. They brought back a lot of the old Barbies, right? Do you guys remember some of the old Barbies? What they were?
There is like in the. I think it was like the 80s, the first time when we saw the movie, like the 80s Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the swimsuit.
Yeah.
That's 80s.
The 80s. That's my favorite is the 80s Barbies.
Yeah. Andrea said it looked like the 80s Barbies, but I did not.
You
I was
did.
a rock star. I
You're-
was like a rock star.
She's a rock star Barbie. Yeah. Then they had Midge, the pregnant Barbie. They had Skipper. Yeah, they had Skipper. They had
I don't think they actually.
No, they
the astronaut, like all kinds of Barbies.
There's
An astronaut, the one on the boat. Yeah, so good movie. Would you recommend it to all your friends?
Yeah.
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 Oh, did you guys cry?
Yeah.
It was emotional at the end. The saddest part was probably the end of the music and when Barbie was crying.
So why was Barbie crying?
Because
Do you remember?
I know about that. Yeah.
She wanted to be human.
No, I think it was also because of the people that were playing with her, and they were starting to like make her think about the death. So then that's whenever her feet started getting flat, and then she got a little bit depression.
She did because she wanted to be human.
When she went to the school and this girl made fun of her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the school made fun of
That
her.
one was sad too.
Yeah.
You know that girl with the mom?
Yeah. But then they also gave kind of the history of the Barbie, right? Who came on at the end?
The creator Ruth.
Yes.
Yeah, creator came on. Well, she's passed away now, but they had someone playing her part, right? And they let Barbie.
Her real name was I forgot her real name.
Barbara. So she named her after her daughter Barbara. Right?
Yeah, short for Barbie.
Yeah. So all right, girls. Well, thank you for giving us your review. I hope any other kids out there goes and sees it. And if you're a parent, all I can say is depends on your parenting style. And it depends on what your kids are watching at home already. And then you might be able to talk your way through some of the harder parts. We're very open with these kids. So,
Like if your kid like watches some stuff and you allow them to watch a little bit of PG-13, maybe you should let them watch it.
yeah, as long as I think you're adults there, you can talk through some of the things they may have questions about. There was a part of the show that talked about Barbie and Ken's private parts and not looking normal, right? So we had to talk about that afterwards a little bit. Yes. But they use the right names. They use the right names, and so that was good because
And they made it in a funny way.
and they made it enough
Not
funny
make it in a rude way or weird.
or a weird
harassment
way. No
Or
harassment.
sus way.
No sexual stuff either. So it was pretty good. Yeah. We had a good time, good family fun. Yes. Do it again.
Yeah. It wasn't family, it was girls.
Well, it was all girls. Well, we are
I wanna
family.
watch it again.
You want to watch it again?
Same.
Do you want to watch it again?
I'm gonna make sure my dad doesn't watch it so that way we can watch it.
There you go. And so I want to thank you guys for being on the show for the first part. You guys say goodbye to everybody. And I'll let you guys go eat your ramen and watch your television and take the doggy with you. How about that? All right. Thank you guys. Bye, guys. All right. Then you're going to be left with me, and then we'll get back to the show. All right. Bye, y'all. Welcome back. You got me. Tracey, can you shut the door, please? Thank you. All right. That was our rendition of what happened today on the Barbie movie. And coming from I want to say Coco is 9, Carolina is 9, and I think Allie is 7. So there's your age group. And we did take them, and we did have to talk through some of the parts. But most of it was a musical, it was dancing, it was singing. So I don't know, it was great fun for the girls, and we all dressed up. So that was fun too. But getting back to our show today, we are going to talk about the next tool from the tools book that we're reviewing together by Phil Stutz and Barry Michaels. And so I've really, really enjoyed diving into this book, and I'm getting so much out of it. So I hope that you're getting some stuff out of it. We have a lot to kind of cover today. We are in chapter 3, and it's actually the second tool. I'll give you a recap of the last week. Last week, we talked about the reversal of desire. So tool number 1 was the reversal of desire, and the higher force that goes with it was forward motion. And I'll kind of recap. Tool number 1 is about facing the things that you desire, like comfort zone, because your mind automatically wants to protect you. And so we want instant gratification. So we want to stay in our comfort zone. And that keeps us from kind of moving forward in life and moving forward through things because of fear. And so that's what last week's tool was about. It was about taking what you desire, which is comfort, and doing the opposite. And so really pushing yourself through those things that you're afraid of to get on the other side where we can have happy experiences, great opportunities. You're missing out if you stay stuck. This week is all about kind of the same thing. It's about moving forward, not being stuck. It's called active love, and the higher force is called outflow. And that's everything that we are going to cover today. It's a chapter 3 of the book. And the book chapter 3 starts off with talking about the maze that we all get stuck in. And that's what we'll kind of go over first. What do I mean by the maze? And here, I'll give you an example. In young relationships, there may be something going on. You may get annoyed with your partner. You may have conflict together. You don't like something, your partner doesn't like something, someone may explode, someone gets angry. Typically there's an attack, right? Because when we're young and we don't have the emotional intelligence, it's really difficult to stay on course and to stay on topic. So what we'll do is we tend to bring up everything from the past and we tend to attack. Then what happens, we get our feelings hurt and then we withdraw. Okay? And then rinse, lather, repeat. And this is how we tend to fight, right? With people who don't have a high emotional intelligence. And we get caught in this trap. We get caught in this maze. And so things never really get resolved or taken care of. And we just kind of flush them under the rug until the next fight happens. And then we'll do it all over again. And we'll attack. And then we'll retreat. And then we stuff. And then we move on, and then we do it again. So this is what we call the maze. And it really can happen to people like in our family or in our friends where we just can't move on past the hurt that's been caused. And that's where we get stuck. And I'm going to talk about that when we come back from the break. But I want you to think about while we're on break. Have you had that situation with a friend, with a family member, coworker, boss, whomever, where there were some hurt feelings involved? They did something to you, whether intentionally or not intentionally, that part really doesn't matter. But you stayed stuck in your head by revisiting what they did, revisiting the hurt, playing it over in your head, wanting revenge, going on the attack, coming back, not wanting to talk to them. So it becomes this thing. And if you picture a maze, that's the cycle we just keep getting in. And it's hard to come out once we're in that maze, right? Once we are stuck and holding on to that emotion, it is really hard to pull ourselves out of it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. The tool is called active love, and the higher force is called outflow. That's what we're going to put in our toolbox to help us learn coping skills and emotional intelligence, and to have those things in our toolbox to help get us through life. All right. So you are watching The Soul's Journey on Bold Brave TV. I need my cup of coffee because it's been a day. And when we come back, we're going to hit the floor running and we're going to dive into chapter 3 of the tools, the active love. All right. All right. We'll be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. We discover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Hey, welcome back to The Soul's Journey on Bold Brave TV. I am your host, Tracey Escobar, psychic medium. And we are talking about the tools today. Again, I am going through the book, The Tools, by Phil Stutz and Barry Michaels. And part of my journey through mediumship, I learned a long time ago that it is a dual development. You develop your gifts, right? Your spiritual gifts. And at the same time, you go through your healing process. And it never stops, right? I think I've been on this journey for 7 years and I keep going through layers of healing. You know, right when you think you've kind of done the work, then something else comes up and you're like, no, it's time to go back and dig in again. And so I want to take you on this journey with me of like self-healing, self-development, self-improvement, self-reflection, self. Because at the end of the day, it's the only person we can control is ourselves. And I see so many people in my practice that are unhappy and miserable. And the one thing that I find so interesting is that's in common with everybody is because they're all looking for outside influences to make them happy. They're looking for a person to make them happy. They're looking for a job to make them happy. They're looking for a lover to make them happy, a partner to make them happy, a child to make them happy, a parent to make them happy, whoever. They're looking for outside sources. Some people do shopping to make them happy. So I'm trying to teach and get everybody to go back within and look within, right? And so we are covering that with this book. I was introduced to this book through a Netflix series. I forgot the name of it, but Jonah Hill was in it, and it is actually a documentary, and he actually saw the writer of this book and had therapy, and they recorded their therapy sessions and did a whole documentary about it, and that's how I found out about the book. And it was really, really good, and it's really practical things that you can use in your day-to-day life, even if you're not spiritual, right? So this book would probably help people who aren't as spiritual. So there's not a lot of woo-woo in the book, which is fine, right? What is here is practical, good advice. So today we're talking about tool number 2, called active love, and the higher force that this gets us into. So he does 5 tools and 5 higher forces. Active love gives us outflow, and I'll explain outflow later on in the segment, but right now we're going to talk about active love. And so throughout this chapter, the writer tells us about the maze that we get stuck in, right? He also talks about this fascination with fairness too, and we're going to talk about that next. But I wanted to wrap up the maze. Remember, so the maze is that cycle you get into where you forget all the good someone's ever done and you just focus on the negative that happened to you or something that affected you. And you keep on this maze of revisiting the hurt, revisiting what was done to you. A lot of times you're going to want revenge, and it just keeps going, right? And I wrote something down. You forget all the good about a person and 100% focus on the wrong they committed. When you are in the maze, life will pass you by. So much of our time and energy is wasted in the maze. You can't control what someone else did, and 9 times out of 10, it wasn't even intentional. It was something going on with them, right? But you're caught in the maze and you can't move forward with life because you think it was about you, or you feel it was an attack on you, or you feel like it was unjust for you. So that leads us to the next section that he talks about, and he talks about fairness. And we get trapped in the maze because our universal human expectation is that the world is going to treat you unfairly. So you're always looking for the unfairness. Okay, and I want you to hear that. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and I'm always just trying to fill my mind with good stuff. And on this podcast, another podcaster had read a book too, and something stood out to them. Your reality in life, and I'm talking about your reality, which is different from my reality or different from your neighbor's reality. We all have a different reality, which is interesting because it's called reality. But we all have a different view of reality based on what we choose to be aware of at that time. That's why it's always so different with everybody, right? You can choose to look at one scene. Let's talk about a painting or a picture. You can look at one picture and focus on one aspect of that picture. And then in that moment, that picture becomes that reality for you. Someone else can look at that same exact picture, zone in on a different feature of the picture, and become super aware of that feature. And that photo or picture becomes their reality. Same picture, 2 different realities. Same way with life, same way with situations. And that's why we get caught in the maze, is because we're only looking at it from our hurt, our perspective, when we get stuck there. And we want it to be fair. We want to be able to be like, you hurt me, I'm going to show you, I'm going to hurt you. So have you ever been in those situations where you wanted to get even? You wanted to get revenge? It's a natural human instinct when you were stuck in that maze cycle. I was stuck in that maze cycle not too long ago, and it literally took me over a week to get myself pulled out of it because I recognized what it was, right? And when I do that, I'm going to go in. Some may say it's a silent treatment. I'd say it's me processing. I need to pull away and I need to go process the situation so I can get to the root of the cause of the why, so that I am not caught in the maze and I am not caught in the unfairness of a situation. Okay. Our minds want equal justice, and it's just normal, right? And a lot of times we will dig our heels in on fairness. And what he writes about in the book is that it's a childish expectation. We are taught from a very young age that if you do this, this is what you can expect, right? If you are good to me, I'll be kind to you. Or if I'm kind to you, you'll be kind to me. So we do that in relationships too. Like, okay, I would have talked to you about this because you didn't talk to me about that. I'm going to be angry with you because I would have done it, right? So there's that expectation, and you have to be super careful because expectations will get you in trouble every single time. Because remember, we're all looking at reality differently. We all have a different thought process. We all have something going on in our mind at the time. We're not all thinking the same because we don't have the same life experiences that teach us to think the same. That's what makes us all different and makes us all human. So I would say give everybody the benefit of the doubt always, because 9 times out of 10, it's not intentional. They're not bad humans. They're making choices that may hurt you, but they're not bad humans. So take fairness, work with fairness. I know someone's been unfair to you sometime in your life, and I really want you to sit with what happened. Was it really unfair to you? Okay, did they really mean it to be that way? Or were they just looking at it from their own reality and their own perspective? So you can ask yourself these questions. All my notes from chapter 3. But you can ask yourself these questions, and that will help you determine and get yourself out of that maze. Sometimes we have to talk ourselves out of it through our own self-talk therapy, right? And then that's what I did. I had to say, was it intentional? No, probably wasn't intentional. Was it an oversight? Maybe it was just an oversight. Were my feelings hurt? Yeah. Did I have valid reason for my feelings to be hurt? Absolutely. But was it their fault? Maybe no, right? Not. So I had to really go, I really sat, I reflected. And it turns out after I did all the reflection and the crying and the coming to terms with it and trying to figure it out and to go deep, what it all ended up being is it triggered an abandonment issue for me. That's what came up. Was it their fault that it triggered this abandonment thing for me? No. Are they the reason why I have an abandonment issue? No, it's not their fault. But that's what happened. And it reverted me back to that little child girl that felt abandoned. That adult woman who keeps getting abandoned or keeps feeling abandoned. The whole victim side of me came out again. Okay. So revisiting it, re-looking at it, relearning it, and understanding is how I was able to get myself out of the maze and get myself out of that fairness thing in my head, right? So I used the tools that he talked about and it worked, okay? Let me give you some more notes that he says. The trick to getting out of the maze is to generate a form of love that is independent of your reactions. And what he's really talking about is really learning to separate your reaction, okay, from love, because they're two different things. You can't have an anger and a love feeling at the same exact time. Your brain just won't let it happen, right? Just like fear and gratitude comes from different parts of the brain. So if we can move into an active love, we can get out of that maze and that unfairness. Okay, so that's the tool he talks about, is getting into active love. Love at its highest form, okay, is active love and outflow. Okay, outflow. So let's talk about outflow and what that means. So with the tool active love, and we're going to do an exercise on it in a second, but it will teach you to be in a love space so that that maze and that unfairness can't exist. And it is a tool that you can actively use during those times of frustration, of anger, of attack, of wanting revenge, right? You can use this tool. And why does it create outflow? Well, it's really interesting because you're sitting with the tool of active love and you are changing the energy of the situation and you are making it outflow. So remember that as we keep going, it's an outflow of something, okay? So the moment you feel this force, you no longer need a remedy from the person who harmed you. Outflow is its own reward. Okay, so when I teach the tool, we do the tool, it replaces that feeling, and it replaces with this love, and it creates this outflow of emotion and energy. So that's what the tool is. So outflow will change your inner status or your inner state. So you're going to go from angry and frustrated and wanting revenge to using this tool and creating a space of love and healing, and it creates this sense of peace within you. And when you can create the sense of peace within inside of you, then it changes how you react on the outside. So I hope that makes sense, right? We're going to learn how to change the inner part of us and the reactive part of us so that we can change the energy and the outflow of us. And then people may have a different perception of you and who you are. So here we go. All right, so outflow. Oh, yeah. We're going to get into it. I'm going to find it. We might have to wait until we come back from the next break, and then we'll do the exercise. But I'm going to read you what the tool active love means and what outflow is. So outflow is like a huge tidal wave of energy bestowing itself into the world. That's what the author writes. So think about creating all this love within you and then actively pushing it out and giving it from the heart, okay? And being in sync and in line with yourself and your higher self, all right? The trick in getting into the state of outflow when someone has hurt you. So that's the trick, because when you're so hurt and so bothered by something, that's why it's so hard to get out of the maze, because you just keep running through it and running through it. So having an awareness about it and having these tools in your back pocket will be easier for you to identify when you're in the maze or identify when you're fighting with fairness, and will trigger you to say, no, I need to use my active love tool to get past it. Okay. You have to make this is what makes healing hard and learning these tools so hard, because you've got to actually use them. Okay. You have to make a conscious effort to generate love when someone has hurt you. Do you know how hard that is? Do you know how hard it is to look at someone and still say, I love you, even after they've hurt you so bad? So that's why it comes down to you, and it comes down to your own self-worth and your own love and your own self-respect and everything in between. And it's all about you, and only you can do you, okay? So hopefully after I teach you this tool, you can push through that person that hurt you the most and have just an ounce of love for them. So we're going to go into another break in a second. I really want you to, we're going to come back and we're actually going to do the exercise, active love. I want you to write down on a piece of paper the one person you may be struggling with. You can just put their relationship to you. You can put a name, an initial. I don't care what it is, but I want us to write it down on a piece of paper. And then that's what we're going to concentrate when we get back. We are going to actually do an active love exercise, and we're going to see if it changes our feelings about that person. Sound good? All right, that's the plan. We'll be back in a few. You're watching The Soul's Journey on Bold Brave TV, and we'll be right back.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like, it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. Yeah, it feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Hi, and welcome back. You're watching The Soul's Journey. I am your host, psychic medium Tracey Escobar, and you're watching on Bull Brave TV Network. So welcome back, talking about the book, The Tools. We are on chapter 3 of the book, and today's tool is called Active Love, and the higher force is called Outflow. And how can we turn the maze that we get into when we're upset with someone and we keep wanting to revisit the hurt over and over and over and over, and we can't get past that. And so a lot of us are stuck in this quicksand of not being able to move on. And I see it almost every day in my spiritual practice when I'm giving people readings. So many people are stuck. And so this is a great non-woo-woo book. So it's not very spiritual talk, right? So for those of you who aren't on a spiritual journey or anything, it will help you still. There's not a lot of the woo-woo talk, but it's very practical. Really good tools that gives you to help cope with certain situations in life, and to just have in your toolbox, in your back pocket, to help you move through life and have a happier life. Because on the other side of our fears and our comfort zones is an amazing place to be, but we'll never get there if we stay stuck. Okay, so this is about getting you out of the quicksand and getting you moving on with life. So all of us have been in situations we've been upset with someone, we've lost relationships. Probably most, I'll talk about some of mine. Let's say infidelity has been a big trend or issue in my relationships in the past. And those have been very hard to forgive and to move on. And I found myself continually stuck. It happened in my marriage. And I can remember every fight, you just want to bring up the past, right? You want to bring it up because I just want to hurt you as much as you hurt me. And so you keep revisiting it, right? And nothing ever gets resolved. And you get stuck in this maze of fight, attack, hurt, withdraw, brushed it under the rug. Fight, attack, hurt, withdraw, brush it on the rug. We never deal with anything. So then we get stuck in this unhappy marriage and this loveless relationship where there's all this resentment, and we stay stuck. And then we stay stuck because there's a fear of moving on. So you see where I'm going with this, where you can just stay stuck in everything. And if you would have maybe addressed it, had open conversations about it, maybe not taken something so personal. And I know affairs can be personal, but I'm going to talk about that for a second. You got to take the you out of it and separate yourself from the emotions and the facts and the active love that you're going to play. Okay. So active love, how can we turn that anger and that hurt into something more positive that will trigger a higher force, which is outflow? Okay. So last week we talked about the reversal of desire. This chapter is all about active love. Okay. And so I'm going to read you the exercise. So before we went to the break, I had you all think of a person, and I had you write down their name on a piece of paper of the one person who may have hurt you. And if you're listening on the replay, please do this now, right? You can always listen to this later, but write it down. And I'm going to read you the tool verbatim from the book. So bear with me as I read it. But I want you to sit. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think of this person, and I want you to think of the hurt that they've caused you and the pain that they've caused you. Let that sit there for a second. Okay. All right, here we go. So close your eyes. Imagine that you're surrounded by a warm, liquid light that is infinitely loving. Feel your heart expand far beyond you to come one with its love. As you bring your heart back to normal size, this infinite energy concentrates itself inside of your chest It's unstoppably loving force that wants to give itself away. Sit with that love for a second. Feel that unconditional, beautiful love. When I get into this beautiful love, I get goosebumps, right? I feel it. It's beautiful. It's like a wave coming over you. I want you to feel that beauty, that unconditional love just swelling up inside of you. And I want you to shrink it to where it's all contained inside of your heart, and you can feel your heart about to explode with excitement from feeling all that love. All right. Now I want you to focus on the person who triggered your anger. That person that we wrote down on the paper. I really want you to sit with it. Picture their face. Picture them. Okay. I want you to visualize their presence. I want you to send all the love in your chest directly to them as if they're sitting right in front of you. You can imagine it. I don't want you to hold anything back. I know this is going to be hard and it's going to take everything out of you, but this is such a required step in your healing and your moving on journey. Okay? So take a deep breath, feel all that love, and just imagine that love pouring out of your heart and into them. It's like completely expelling a deep breath. I want you to follow the love as it leaves your chest. When it enters the other person at their solar plexus, which is their stomach, so about right here, right? Once it reaches that, don't just watch. I want you to feel that love into their body. Feel it into their soul. I want you to become one with them. And I know this is really difficult to do for someone who's hurt you so deeply. But trust the process. Become one with the person who hurt you. Okay? Sit with it for a second. You may feel like crying, and that's okay. Become one with that person. Pour all the love you have into them because they probably need it. Okay? Now I want you to relax. I want you to take a deep breath and come back to yourself again. And then I want you to surround yourself by that infinite love. All that love is going to return right back into you and into your energy. All of it that you gave away comes all back to you. You'll feel filled up and finally at peace. Okay? I want you to sit with that just for 1 second and think about, document how it made you feel. Okay? I can tell spirit is around. They make my nose itch every single time. So I feel like we're on the right track and we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing for people out there. And I know that there's someone out there who needed this so desperately. And your loved one is here, making me aware of it. So I just want you to know that, okay? It can be life-changing and it may take work. You may not be able to get through it the first time, and I want you to know that that's okay. I know that hurt runs deep. But it's necessary to set yourself free and to forgive and not forget. I'm not asking anybody to forget, but I want you to set yourself free, right? Again, your reality is 100% what you choose to focus on. If you're going to choose to focus on the hurt and the pain, you are going to be in pain and hurt for a very long time. And when you're in pain and hurt for a really long time, you tend to not move forward and not live a life. All right. So I want you to keep this tool in your back pocket. This tool consists of 3 active parts, and it's always important to kind of remember all the 3 parts that come with this tool. The first part is concentration. Okay. It's about gathering, and this is the active part of love, right? You have to actively love. It combines love and an effect, an emotion, an action. Okay, so it's called active love for a reason. So actively collect all the love around you and concentrate it. So you're going to do all this through the visualization. Make the love energy a different color. Imagine the room filled. Let's do pink since we just saw Barbie. Let's imagine my love is pink. It's a pink, beautiful cloud, and I'm just bringing all that love in. I'm feeling it all. Okay, so that's what the concentration means. You're taking all the love in the world, and you're going to concentrate it into this little tiny ball of love. Can you imagine how powerful that is? Feel it. It feels strong. It feels powerful. It feels dense, right? Because you're just bringing it all in. Okay, so that's step number 1. Step number 2 is transmission. Now that we've got it, what do we do with it, right? Your heart literally becomes the conduit for transmitting love from the heart space. How beautiful is that? So you're not coming from a reactive space. You're not coming from a mind space. You're coming from a beautiful, loving heart space, okay? And then the third part is penetration. Feel the love you're transmitting. Feel the love that you're pushing out and that you're giving someone. Feel it transmitting, right? So concentrating the love together, transmitting, giving it to somebody else, and then penetrating and feeling the love penetrate. Those are the 3 parts of the tool active love. And you've just done it for someone. So I want to say congratulations. You just did it. Again, this may take practice, but it's a tool that you can have in your back pocket anytime you feel triggered, or you feel angry, or you feel betrayed, or you feel hurt, or whatever that feeling is. And it's okay if it takes you an hour, 2 days, 10 days, whatever it takes you to process it and to push through it is okay. There's no set time frame. Okay, so give yourself grace. You're working to become a better you. All right. We got to take a break and we'll be right back. You're watching The Soul's Journey on Bulletproof TV Network.
Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. We discover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation.
And welcome back to The Soul's Journey on Bull Brave TV. I am your host, Tracey Escobar. So I create a little diagram for those of you who learn visually about the tool. And so here it is. And don't laugh at me for my artwork. But anyway, here you are, right here. That's you, right? If you stay in the maze, look what happens. You're stuck here, right? And you're on this continuous loop being trapped in the past. This is the maze, trapped in the past. Trapped in the past, right? If you choose outflow, this is where you are, and you're going towards freedom. So nothing is keeping you stuck, right? Outflow. So there's like a general diagram of what it talks about, what it's about. Tool number 2, active love. Okay. So I'm hoping that helps for the people who need to have a visual about the tool. All right. So other benefits of the tool really quickly that it helps with, and I can attest to this, it builds confidence. You would be super surprised, but it does build confidence because you no longer are afraid to speak your mind, right? You become more assertive. You accept others as they are. You're no longer looking for everyone to be perfect. You can finally see them as the human that they are and just accept them where they're at in their own journey, because that's what life is about. It's about a journey of experiences, about a journey of lessons, and about a journey of learning. And not all of us are on the same path. We're not all at the same place. So this kind of gives you a sense of compassion for people, becoming one with them and understanding them at a soul level instead of at a level of being a victim and being hurt by them. So I hope that helps. Remember, active love creates outflow. Outflow is the face that accepts everything as it is. This dissolves your sense of unfairness so you can give without reservation. Okay. So far in his book, again, the tools, he's giving us 2 tools so far that we can use this week. Okay. The reversal of desire, which creates forward motion, and active love, which creates outflow. Okay. So this week, find a time where you can use these 2 tools in your everyday life. And let me give you a rundown. If you didn't see last week's episode, I would go look at it for tool number 1, which is the reversal of desire, where desire is comfort zone and fear and being safe. And so you never want to do that. So the reversal of desire is to face it and just do it. Stop doing what you desire, which is to feel safe and comfortable, and go be uncomfortable, right? So that you can experience life to the fullest. So that's tool number 1, facing it. Do something that you're running away from, okay? And then tool number 2 is active love. When someone has triggered you or made you angry, get out of the maze, because you're only hurting yourself. You're keeping yourself from moving forward, and you're keeping yourself stuck. You are the only one who is suffering from that. I promise you, they are not suffering. They are moving on with life. They are not suffering. So you are suffering. So stop. Here's a tool for you. Do active love so that it moves it from you and you can move forward, right? And then it'll give you just a better understanding. It'll get you out of your head and out of your emotions. Remember, emotions and feelings don't always equal facts. And that's hard. But really get down to facts when you're being triggered. What are the facts about a situation? Now, what are the emotions around the situation? All right. So I hope those are tools for you that you can live by, that you can use this week. We'll be back next week to talk about, I think, inner authority is next week's tool. And we're going to talk about that, I think, next week. Ooh, I may have a guest next week. Anyway, keep watching. But I also wanted to just briefly, before it's time to end our show, talk about a new deck I got. I just released it, and it's called Messages. And I'm going to pull a card for just everybody, as a message for everybody out there. I created this deck and a journal that I'm going to start selling in a package with my book. So you've got my book. You can be a medium. And again, this is for anybody, even if you don't want to be a medium. It's about healing. It's about my journey through healing, what I did to heal, tools that you can do to move and get into your healing journey that may open up your own spiritual gifts. That's what happened to me. But I did that. I made a deck of cards and I created a journal, and we're going to box them together and sell it as a pack. So anybody out there wanting to learn, expand your knowledge on spirituality, talk to your own people, that's something, just let me know in the comments and I will message you and we'll talk about it. Okay. But I'm going to pull one of my messages cards, and it's called From Heaven with Love Messages. Okay. And we're going to pull one as we take off, and it's called Watching. And it says, I watch over you every day. I send you comfort when you need it, and love always. You are never alone. And I hope that message resonates with somebody out there. I hope that you needed to hear that. You truly are never alone. Our loved ones are always with us and always watching us grow and cheering us on from the other side. And even when we don't do things right, they still love us anyway. And they're still cheering us on because they know through that we'll learn. So even when we make the wrong choices, they're still loving us. Yes, they do, because they know we're actively learning. And this is the place that we have to do it. It's called Earth School. And that's why we're here. And that's why you're here. So while you're here, let's not make it a whole miserable experience. Let's heal, let's learn, and let's grow together. All right. Until next time, you're watching The Soul's Journey on World Brave TV. And I am Tracey Escobar. And I can't wait to come talk to you all again. Till next time.
This has been The Soul's Journey with your host, Tracey Escobar. Tune in each week and be inspired through the voices of those living the journey and those who have already passed on. Fridays, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network.